Let me just, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Hi. In the last 24 hours, there's been so much news coverage about your campaign, your path forward in this nomination process. There have been stories that say overnight your campaign strategy has changed dramatically, and there are stories
Is that what the media is writing?
There have been also
Don't believe what you read in the media.
There have also been stories that have said you're not changing anything. You're consistent in your strategy. Can you give us a sense of what conversations you've had over the last 24 hours with your advisors about what your campaign needs to do to be more effective and win more voters?
Look, I want to back this up and just say this. We are taking on, well, let me back it up again. We are running a campaign that has not been run in the modern history of American politics. So what we are doing right now, let's be clear, is taking on all of the powerful special interests who control the economic and political life of this country. That's what we're doing. These are many of your employers. These are folks who control Wall Street. They control the insurance industry. They control the pharmaceutical industry. They control the fossil fuel industry. As I mentioned before, right now, there will be many, many millions of dollars being spent by super PACs with undisclosed donors who are trying to undermine our campaign. So you have not seen a campaign in the modern history of America which is taking on the entire corporate elite and telling them that their greed and corruption are unacceptable. We are taking on the political establishment, and that's just your point. In the last few days, what we've seen a consolidation. Political establishment was very, very nervous because you had a number of establishment candidates. And then the establishment candidates got out, some of them. Buttigieg got out, Amy Klobuchar got out, Bloomberg got out, and they consolidated around Joe Biden. And Wall Street is emptying its checkbooks to fund Joe's campaign. We're taking on a corporate media, which has clearly, attacked our campaign in ways that I think in some cases, I don't want to overdo it, unprincipled. You're talking about a candidate who had to listen to somebody say that our supporters are brown shirts. That's Nazi supporters. What a disgrace. A candidate who described a victory that we had as Nazis invading France. You had on one of the television stations the question, which is what the media is preoccupied with, how can we stop Bernie Sanders? We got to stop the coronavirus and we got to stop Bernie Sanders. What a terrible thing. That's what we're thinking. That's the frame. Not, my God, you have a candidate who's trying to bring working people, exploit working people into the political process. So we are, as where we are right now at this moment, after the California results, I presume someday will be finally tabulated in our lifetime, I think what we will find is that we're a few votes behind Joe Biden. That's where we are after a year. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. We're going off to Arizona now. We're going off to Michigan. We're going to be working really hard. And we got a very good shot to win this thing, and if we win it, I think we're the strongest campaign to defeat.
Do you think that anything should change about your strategy with regard to reaching out to voters of color, maybe, or is there anything?
Well, voters of color in California, we got 39% of the vote. How's that? That's pretty good.
Well, Senator, have you talked to Elizabeth Warren today, and have you asked for her support?
I did. I talked to her. She was, it was just kind of before her press conference, so her mind was on her press conference and our staffing and all of that stuff. And we will continue to talk, but we had a positive talk. Yeah.
Senator, Elizabeth Warren was asked this question earlier today, and I want to give you the opportunity to answer it as well. What do you say to the women and girls out there who are looking at the top 3 candidates right now, including President Trump, and only having the choice between 70-year-old white men? What do you tell those women and girls?
Well, I tell them that over the last many years, we have made progress in this country on women's rights. I can remember when Senator Barbara Mikulski of Maryland was the only woman who was in the United States Senate. One woman. Okay? And we have made real progress in recent years, not only in terms of bringing more women into the political process, bringing more African Americans, bringing more Latinos, bringing more people from the gay community. And that progress will continue. We all want, I want at least, the day to come when, and certainly what my administration will be about, when we want the Congress, we want the White House, we want cabinets, we want state legislatures to look like America. Last I heard, at least half of the people in this country were women. So progress has been made. We need to make more progress. And all I would say to the young women out there is that if you check my record from over the last 30 years, it is a very, very strong record in terms of women's rights. It is a record which says that I will never, never nominate anybody to the Supreme Court or the federal bench who is not 100% pro Roe v. Wade, that we're going to expand funding for Planned Parenthood. We're going to try to codify Roe v. Wade into law. So I think for those women, rightfully so, or people in this country who are disappointed, all that I can say is that in Bernie Sanders you will have a president who will be a very, very strong advocate for women's rights. Yeah.
Senator, we're talking about your upcoming travel. You were supposed to go to Jackson, Mississippi tomorrow. You just found out that that trip is now canceled. You're going straight to Michigan.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why you made that choice?
Yeah, because right now I think Michigan has got, we're in Arizona right now actually.
Yes.
And then we're going to go to Michigan. We are bringing more staff into Mississippi. We're very proud to have Mayor Lumumba of Jackson, Mississippi, supporting our campaign. Look forward to him playing an active role. If possible, I will try to get to Mississippi. But within a short period of time, I think, as any candidate will tell you, you have to make a decision where you're going. You can't go every place. I can't be in 6 states at the same time. So Michigan is where we'll spend a bit of our time. I think we're going to be certainly in Arizona. We will be elsewhere as well. But it's just a question of having to make decisions. Yes.
Senator, this change in travel, what message do you think it sends to Black voters in the South?
Well, I think we're very proud of the fact that we have strong support from the African-American community, that we are going to be working with the African-American community, the Muslim community in Michigan, and in every state in the country. But once again, I mean, I think in all due respect, I cannot be in every place at the same time, all right? Now, you know, Joe Biden made his choices about where he would go during his campaign. Elizabeth Warren made her choices. But there are 6 states coming up. Can't be in 6 states at the same time. So we have to go where we can go. Yeah.
Senator Warren said today that she's going to be talking a lot in the next coming weeks and days about the role sexism played in the race. What role do you think sexism has played in the 2020 race?
Look, I think it's no great secret. I think women are caught... I think there is widespread sexism. Women are caught in a difficult position in many, many ways. Sometimes if they're too forceful, then they're attacked. If they're not forceful enough, they are attacked. If they smile in a certain way, they're attacked. They don't smile. So I think sexism is a prevalent problem that we have in this country. Yeah.
Senator, if you don't win Michigan, do you think there's still a viable path to
I do. Yeah, look. I have been asked by all of you every day, what happens if you don't win New Hampshire? Is it over? What happens if you don't win Iowa? Is that the end of your campaign? What happens if you don't win Nevada? What happens if you don't win California? Look, there are 50 states in this country. Some of them more delegates than others. We're very proud to have won California, the largest state, did well in Texas. Every state is important. Michigan is very, very important. Mississippi is important. Idaho is important. State of Washington is important. Every state is important, and we're going to fight as hard as we can with our resources and understanding that I'm one person who can't be in 6 places at the same time, to do the best we can. Yes.
Senator, I know you don't like to talk about 2016 still, but now that we're almost back to a 2-person race, do you see echoes of that presidential contest?
We started off with, 18 and 19 candidates, and now it's down to 2. As you have heard me say on many occasions, the debate formats, and it's hard. I know when you're so many candidates, it's hard everybody wants to be fair to everybody, to have the kind of substantive debates that I think the people of this country want. And to be honest with you, the last debate especially was like a food fight. It was people screaming over each other. It was not a substantive debate. I think, and I look forward to one-on-one debates with Joe Biden. And let me say, as I've said many times, I've known Joe Biden for many years. He's a friend. She's a decent person. But Joe's record is a very, very different record than mine. His vision for the future of this country is very, very different. I'm going to be in Michigan very shortly, and I will be talking in Michigan about the fact that Joe supported disastrous trade agreements like NAFTA and PNTR with China, which have cost this country millions of good-paying jobs, devastating to the Midwest in this country. I will be talking about the fact that, about whether or not anyone thinks seriously that we're going to bring about the kind of real changes this country needs when your campaign is being funded by Wall Street and the healthcare industry and all of the powerful special interests in this country. You don't bring about real change when you are dependent for your campaign fundraising from the rich and the powerful. We're going to talk about the Wall Street bailout that I vigorously opposed, that Joe Biden supported. We're going to talk about a bankruptcy bill supported by the credit card industry, which has been devastating for young people and working people in this country. And we're going to talk about climate change. I happen to believe that we need sweeping, real changes in our energy system, that a moderate, middle-of-the-way approach is not going to be able to deal with the existential threat of climate change. So I like Joe personally, and I will do everything in my power to make sure this is not a kind of ugly personal attacks like, the Trump people engage in. This is going to be an issue-oriented campaign from my perspective. Joe and I have very different voting records. We have a very different vision for this country, and you will see that now that it's a two-person race come out pretty clearly. Carol?
Senator, just to follow up on Senator Warren, would you be disappointed if you don't get her endorsement?
Well, it's not a question of being personal. I would love to have her disappointment, but today what I'm doing is reaching out to the millions of strong supporters that she had, and to tell them that, while Senator Warren and I had nuances of differences, we did, that there is no question that her agenda, what she fought for in the campaign, was far closer to what I am fighting for than what Joe Biden believes in. And we would welcome those supporters. Okay, we'll see you guys in Arizona.